Greetings, online investors. Welcome to another Investor Roadshow presentation from the Online Investment Conference. I'm Peter Norman, founder of the OIC, where our goal is providing you with investment ideas worth watching. To stay updated on our latest ideas, be sure you've hit the subscribe button below. We've got another great idea to share with you today, the Chimo Mine Project in Val-d'Or, Quebec. The Chimo Mine began production 6 decades ago, but closed due to challenging gold prices. Today, a dedicated team of experienced geologists have revealed the potential of Chimo and are working to put the mine back on the path to production. Philippe Cloutier, CEO of Cartier Resources, heads up that team and joins us here today. Welcome, Philippe.
Hello, Peter.
Philippe, why don't you tell us about the history that led to the current state of the Chimo Mine Project? And then I really want to hear more about the latest news release highlighting the 11 new targets you've identified across 15 promising kilometers. Philippe, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. So this is an early December 2023 update. As always, I encourage the audience to do their own due diligence. I hope to demonstrate that Cartier Resources is a tremendous investment opportunity. What you're seeing here on this slide is a chart of the price of gold in Canadian and American dollars stretching back to 1969. Another thing you'll see is the Chimo Mine production that stems from 3 independent or different producers through 3 different periods, the 60s, the 80s, and the 90s. You'll note that it ceased production in 1997, not for lack of ore, but because of challenging gold prices, namely around $300 US at the time. Then we picked it up in 2013. We initiated a compilation of the over 4,000 drill holes production around the shaft area. We attracted a senior strategic investor. We drilled 60,000 meters and produced 3 resource estimates, and then acquired the surrounding ground in 2021 and 2022 via O3 Mining. Produced a 4th resource estimate, delivered a preliminary economic assessment, and drilled an additional 25,000 meters of diamond drilling. But as you alluded to, we also concluded a robust, comprehensive compilation over a 15-kilometer gold strike immediately to the west and to the east of the Chimo Mine asset. And I'll dive into that. But before I leave you, I just want to hammer one point. Chimo Mine Project now is in a much better economic, technological, and corporate situation than it was when it ceased production in 1997. So where is the project? Well, the project is at the eastern end of the very prolific Larder Lake Cadillac Fault zone, which is known to host many mines along the highway here in what we call the Valley of Gold. It's accessible via roads 12 months out of the year, just a 30-minute drive out of Val-d'Or. The asset itself basically is the size that would now cover the Val-d'Or and Malartic mining camps, where there are numerous mills, qualified workforce, and infrastructure. We produced our 4th resource estimate last year, and we're sitting now at 720,000 ounces of gold in the indicated category and 1.6 million ounces of gold in the inferred category. We also produced a PEA post-tax NPV of $388 million Canadian with an internal rate of return of 20.8%. So let's focus on this part of the belt right now. So there you have it. A more in-depth view of the project. I want to point out that the original project, prior to consolidation with O3, I'm highlighting right now on the slide, was centered in a cluster of drill-indicated showings and deposits over a 15-kilometer stretch. And by 2021, we realized that we needed to acquire the ground that surrounded the Chimo project that would offer us the continued ability to grow this resource base and to make the project even more economic. The next slides, I will focus even more on the system. We're going to show you a vertical slice through this 15-kilometer favorable gold strike, and we will be looking north. So there you have it. Briefly, the top part of the slide is a bird's eye view of the Chimo Mine gold system and the extensions towards the east and towards the west. And the bottom part of the slide is a vertical slice through the 15-kilometer gold strike. I'm highlighting over here the former property boundaries so that you could appreciate the potential to extend east and west that we were seeing. So after having drilled the system for over 5 years and adding to it the West Nordo deposit from the acquisition, we built a set of filters to guide us in reviewing and auditing over 700 diamond drill holes over a 15-kilometer stretch to the east and to the west. You'll note that most of the historical drill testing on this regional approach is barely down to 200 meters. So what we're hoping to demonstrate here is that we could repeat the Chimo Mine gold system several times along strike to the west and to the east. So on the next slide, I'll show you what that map looks like today, which was recently released in late November. There you have it, a very simplified version of what we're up against. The Chimo Mine gold system, I'm highlighting over here, that guided us in producing or identifying 11 new targets that have Chimo type gold mineralization. You can see things like terrific grades at Bluegrass, 83.4 grams per ton gold over intersections of just under 5 meters. And then at East Nordo over here, 65.7 grams of gold over 2.8 meters. And so therefore, we're looking at a very exciting drill program on the regional front. And we're also looking at a program that stems from the PEA for additional infill drilling, environmental work, metallurgical studies, and so on and so forth. Moving forward, what are the catalysts? Well, we're readier than ready. We've designed programs not only in and around the shaft area, but also on the regional front, on ground that we didn't have access to in the last 5 years. And so moving forward, we could have very robust programs continue to develop resources in and around the shaft area, but we could also build and demonstrate ounces on the regional front. Chimo Mine can continue to grow. So we're going to be continually rating, ranking, and prioritizing this work. We're not prospecting with the drill. We're drilling geometric extensions of known gold zones. And therefore, you could expect updated mineral resource estimates and PAs in the future. So the financial investment highlights on the Chimo Mine Project. We've delivered a positive preliminary economic at our flagship Chimo Mine Project, but there's still multiple opportunities to improve already positive project economics. Our additional 25,000 meters of diamond drilling that we conducted just west of the shaft on the East Chimo Mine area, as well as on the West Nordo area at surface and at depth, show that there's incredible potential to keep increasing the resources near the infrastructure. Showing you that there's a large land package and a lot of targets that we now have access to over a 15-kilometer gold strike. And we believe that there's a potential to grow 3 to 4 more of these Chimo Mine growth systems along that 15-kilometer gold strike. Finally, clear advantage of the project, it sits in a mining-friendly jurisdiction proximal to supporting infrastructure and qualified workforce. That naturally makes better the pathway to production for this project. Our share structure includes senior producers such as Agnico, very dynamic junior developers such as O3 Mining, Quebec Sovereign Funds and Management, such that a solid 40% of the shares are held by these long-term shareholders. We have $2.5 million in the bank, so we have the capacity to weather the storm. And as I've indicated, because we've developed readiness on the project to continue exploring the regional aspect as well as the near shaft aspect, we can joint venture the project, sell it outright, continue the finance, and move it forward. So there we have it. I think we have a compelling case. And Cartier is a tremendous investment opportunity. The value proposition is that we have a positive preliminary economic assessment on the Chimo Mine shaft area. We have additional tremendous exploration potential at a regional scale over the 15-kilometer favorable gold strike that I discussed. And I hope that 2024 will bring better markets in that it will provide our shareholders with a much needed lift in share price. Thank you very much.
Phil, excellent presentation. Now let's delve into a few questions. Could you elaborate on the specific activities that the Cartier team will be prioritizing over the next 3 to 6 months?
Definitely. The first order of business that we had to do was to really design this robust regional exploration program, which is, low cost, high reward, because most of the drilling, there's 130, 140 diamond drill holes, are all very short holes that are all targeting things that have been previously discovered, but did not have the benefit of the knowledge we have acquired while drilling the Chimo Mine gold system. And the second thing we'll do is to look at the PEA recommendations to also get ready to do that program. So over the next 3 to 6 months, not only are we, entertaining the alternatives such as joint ventures or development partnerships or even selling the project, but we're also ready to fire on all cylinders with respect to continue to grow this system through additional drilling in and around the shaft area and along strike.
Now let's look a little bit at the financial picture. You mentioned you have $2.5 million in cash. Can you drill down a little more on Cartier's current financial state?
Well, yeah, $2.5 million right now provides us with the opportunity to weather the storm, right? But not enough to go out there and continue to grow, because although both programs, the shaft area program and the regional program, are two different types of budgets and workflow and logistics, but they would put us in a situation where it would be tight to get all that done. So essentially what we want to do is to look at the alternatives to move this forward, and that could include additional financing.
In the last week, Cartier stock, listed as ECR on the Toronto Venture Exchange, has appreciated significantly. Any thoughts on what's behind that rise in value?
Yeah, you're quite right. For the last 2 months, it's been dangling in the 7 to 8 cents range, and all of a sudden it jumped to about 10 or 11 cents. I suspect that that's a signal for end of tax loss selling for the Cartier shares. The fact that we've marketed throughout these troubled times, and the story is possibly landing on the right audience, and also obviously the recent shoot up in the price of gold itself. If you have a gold project with the nature of what Chimo Mine project is, then it's obvious to people that keep moving it forward is going to service that gold price.
And that concludes our question period and our presentation for today. Cartier Resources, as I mentioned, is listed on the Toronto Venture Exchange as ECR. And if you want to learn more about Cartier, the Chimo Mine Project, or the recent news release, don't hesitate to reach out to Philippe. He's always open for a chat, so give him a call and he'll give you a complete run through of the slide deck, answer any questions you have, and provide any and all the answers you need to do your due diligence on a potential investment in Cartier Resources. You can reach him by email at philippe.cloutier@resourcescartier.com or call him directly at 819-856-0512. He loves talking with investors. And Phil, before we bring this session to a close, do you have any final remarks you'd like to share with our audience?
A few things. Our project is situated in a safe jurisdiction known for long-term historical gold production. We've been drilling a past-producing gold system that continues to grow and reward. In fact, we've had a steady rate of discovery of about $10 per ounce, and there's no indication that should stop. So you do the math. I think we've demonstrated that we are the right value proposition for people looking to invest in junior gold mining stocks.